just come in there and look for knockouts, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, wait, I'm here. Who want to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
Welcome to Bodywork. And it feels so good to be back. Man, they scream your failures and whisper your success. And it's been a minute since I had one of these, man. This is Adversity University. And to my surprise, I have one of my guys present and accounted for facing, man, like a plethora of things in Adversity University, with the dean being one Lamont the Reaper Roach. I'm gonna get into the curriculum real quick. Only thing I could really draw from when I was talking to my old head. You know, my old head hit me up first thing in the morning, started messaging me. People been messaging me all day, and cause they know I'm a tank guy. You know, that's one of my guys. And when I was talking to my old head, I kept thinking about the tortoise in the hare. The tortoise in the hare. Now I know it might not. I'm not saying that Lamont Roach was a tortoise. It's not what I'm saying. But when I draw from that parable, one of Aesop's fables, you know, the ones you learn as a little kid. The moral of the story, the tortoise and the hare, is slow and steady wins the race, meaning that consistent perseverance, even if slow, can lead to success over quick bursts of activity with periods of laziness or complacency, as demonstrated by the hare's overconfidence and eventual loss to the tortoise. Key points about the moral. Overconfidence is detrimental. Wink, wink. The hare's overconfidence in his speed led to his downfall. Persistence is the key. The tortoise's slow but steady pace without stopping allowed him to win the race. Don't underestimate the power of consistent effort. Even if you are not the fastest, the most talented, the most eye-catching, the people's favorite, you can achieve your goals by staying focused and working hard. And one of my pet peeves is when somebody puts in all of the work, all of the time, all of the effort, all of the energy. You see it in their physique. You see it in how they carry themselves. You see everything for these boxes. They put everything into it, only to come up short on the scorecards. And I'm not one of these people that's going to be capping for my guy. That's why I'll be trying to tell you, man, this is fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. I'm not going to be on here capping and caping and trying to make excuses and doing the typewriter and doing all this other stuff. No, man. Lamont Roach won that fight. And this is the problem. My issue is I don't see how everybody sitting up here, you know, claiming robbery. Well, he was the only guy on the card that got robbed. Sandor Martin, I believe, won that fight. Sandor Martin won that fight, but you don't hear everybody crying. You would have thought that it was the 4th of July, the way people are celebrating today. It's like that That's the true definition of hate. That's the true definition of hate. Disdain. Like, that's like the way people were acting today. People act like, man, they act like, remember in COVID, when the stimulus checks hit, that's how people were acting today. Like, people were truly exposing themselves for what they really are. They do not care about the sport of boxing. They just don't, if they can't be down with the people that some people recognize as being special, if they can't be down with that, they want to see the downfall. And a lot of people had already known that a lot of the things that Tank deals with is he inherited a lot of the people that hated Floyd, man. You know, Floyd might have been part of it. Let me go into this the second part of the curriculum before I actually get down to the nitty-gritty, man. And y'all already know what it is. It's gaslighting. The modern definition of gaslighting is a psychological manipulation technique in which a person tries to convince someone that their reality is untrue. It is a tactic often used by narcissists to gain control of their intended target. Let me read it again. The modern definition of gaslighting is a psychological manipulation technique in which a person tries to convince someone that their reality is untrue. It is a tactic often used by narcissists to gain control over their intended target. There's a lot of gaslighting going on in the sport of boxing. Just because Take is one of my guys, I'm not going to cap and cape for him like some of these other knee pad wearing, throat coat spraying, tonsil jewelry displaying, goalpost moving fans are. But they just want to be popular, but they just want to get a couple likes, clicks, and views. That's not me. When it come down to Tank, I'm down like 4 flats, but I would not deny the fact that if you scored this fight round by round by round, the man lost. It is what it is. I was sitting there looking at it when me and my lady kept looking at each other. She kept looking at me. Because sometimes we almost communicate through osmosis. And she's like, what is he doing? I said, babe, I do not know. I said, this man is acting goofy. He goofed off for the first 6 rounds. And I recall it like it was yesterday because it was. In the 8th round, I said, babe, as long as I see him smiling and doing, I said, I do not take it. I said, we in the 8th round. I said, he playing around. I thought he started cranking it up around the 7th, but he was playing around. I was like, man, as long as he's still smiling and all that dumbass talking in between and all that, man, he was fighting this man like that was his friend. Only in my parable, the tortoise, he wasn't playing. He was serious. Lamont was serious. And in my last video I did about this, I had the Tank getting ready to run over the Roach, and that was my little comedic aspect of it. But I said, listen, if he was not going up against Tank, I would be rooting for Lamont Roach. I'll be putting a stake in the ground for him, because he was getting a lot of backlash when he actually knocked down Hector Garcia, and I was one of them people saying, nah, man, did y'all actually watch the fight, man? Like, did y'all see the dude? But they want to live in the past about the Jamel Herring stuff. So I said, if he was not going up against Tank, then I would be pulling in rooting for him. But I've been watching Tank for a long time. I was over there on Murderers Row last week in the build-up after we seen that first press conference, and the question was posed, is Tank a diva? And I was like, I was on the side of no, I wouldn't say he's a diva. I would say that he has an issue with being late, which is a military pet peeve of mine, even like before I went to the military, dealing with my mother when I was younger. I have a pet peeve with people being late. I can't stand when people are late. I can't stand when people waste my time. My time is valuable. So I was saying, no, I said, but it's something about, I said, man, there's something about this whole camp is off, man. I said, it's off, man. It's not, I'm not getting the same vibes I normally get. I said, there's something off. It's on record. It's on wax. I said it. I seen Tank warming up. He was warming up way earlier than what he would normally be warming up. I know sometimes people get knocked out and all this, but like as a program, they have a set time. They pretty much have a pace to where they have filler. They'll have commentators commentate things. They might show a couple things. They have things in place to fill in that time. So even if somebody got knocked down, they wouldn't shrink it down, but so much. Sometimes, yeah, it can. Like, you know, if somebody go in there first round, like, yeah, it's only so much filler you can have. He started warming up real early because he said before, I remember him saying that, well, the reason why some of the times he get off to a slow start is because he don't warm up the way he's supposed to. So I was like, okay, well, he's trying to warm up. So he's trying not to come out there cold. I said, okay, cool. But that is something abnormal from what he normally do. He don't normally warm up that early. You don't ever see him warm up that early. And I don't know if it was because of the record-breaking numbers and all that, you know, that he had, or, you know, I don't know what it was, man, but he was warming up a little early. He always has this thing to where he's always entertaining somebody in the crowd. He's always like talking to somebody or looking off in the corner sometimes. I remember when he was looking off in the crowd and Gamboa hit. That's something that he damn near do almost every fight. I don't know why he do it, but Lamont was not playing. Lamont caught him while he was doing that. Lamont staggered Tank. He buckled Tank twice. So for a combination of 3 times, Tank was in trouble. And everybody know he got a chin. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, man. I can't be like these other guys, man. I don't have no hate in my heart. But I'm not going to sit up here and try to camouflage and assuage nobody's conscience and play with nobody's mind like their eyeballs didn't see what we all saw. Yes, he did some body work, but Lamont did more body work. That's the name of the channel, Bodywork. Lamont did more body work. Yes, Tank hit him too. Yes, Tank froze him. Yes, Tank cracked him. Lamont kept his poker face. I said, listen, in order for Lamont to win, he's gonna have to keep his testosterone up. He's gonna have to stay focused. He's gonna have to fight a perfect fight for 12 full rounds. And God damn it, that's what he did. Now, when it comes down to the 9th round controversy, Tank is very fortunate, and it might not be over, but he's very fortunate that, one, he was able to get away with what he got away with. He took a knee. You know that even if you bend over and your gloves touch the canvas, they're going to count you for a knockdown. How you was hurt, how you was buzzed. I was talking to my old head. He kept showing me it was this punch. He got punched in the face. He backed up. It was like a super delayed reaction. I don't know if that was a reaction from the punch. I don't know what the hell Tank was thinking. He just bent down on his knee and then he stood up. He ran over to the corner, poked his head out the side of the ring, and got wiped down with a towel. That, according to the rules, you can get disqualified. You know what the odds were? I looked at the odds for a draw. I looked at the odds for a draw and I looked at the odds for disqualification. That shit was like a plus 30,000 or some shit for the draw. I don't know what it was for the disqualification, but I looked at him. I said, nah, ain't no way, man. Ain't no way. That's what the odds were. He could have got disqualified for that, man. And this is why we got to put stakes in the ground for this kind of stuff, because I was putting a stake in the ground for Sandor Martin in the fight before Gary Antoine and El Rayo went through, and it's because it's bigger than I have my favorites. I have my boxes. I have my boxes in my boxes to watch collection. I've moved on to like 140 is my division. I'm be going in depth this week about the 140 division, right? That's my division. But I've been having my eyes on 135. Tank is my guy. Tank and Earl, I'll tell everybody all the time. Tank and Earl are the ones that brought me back to boxing. I left after Mike Tyson did that shit where he kissed that dude, and I just wanted the money to feed my family and all that. And I was pissed when I used to throw fight parties when I was in the Army and have people come over. We have barbecues, play dominoes, shoot dice, play spades, drink, do whatever, party. And I was partying. I gave up on it. Them two dudes brought me back. They actually had me get enough attention to outside being a casual, watching the big fights when they come out. Cause I was still watching the big fights and all that, keeping abreast, but I wasn't actively engaged. Seeing those two guys, they were interested enough to where I actually came back to where I really started really watching like boxing, like all day, every day, like watching film, watching everything. Who are these? Like, what's going on? Those are the guys. So I keep track of them. So 147 was my division. Male was one of my fighters. So 154, I had a firm handle on 154. So right now it was 140 and 154. Those are my main divisions. Even though I've been following the ring around the roses with 135 because of Tank and everything surrounding him, and when Devin was there and all that, like T.O. used to be one of them too. But those are the divisions. Those are the guys that brought me back. But just because I have my guys like Jamel, Tank, Earl, I like Fundora, Bam, David Morrell. I'm high on Bivol. I'm sad that Sanicia Estrada hung up the gloves, one of the coldest women with a pair of gloves, to lace up a pair of gloves. So even though I have my people, this is bigger than just one boxer. So the question, when I posed the question, did Lamont Roach expose Tank or something bigger than boxing? You could say both. Expose, oh my gosh, Mike, what are you talking about? Listen, expose means to reveal, to shed light on. Did he give a blueprint as to how you could possibly beat Tank? Yes, he did. I'm not being salacious. When people be like, oh man, he just got exposed, you get hit with one shot, oh man, he exposed him, man, he ain't got no chin. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, did he expose a blueprint as to how somebody could possibly beat Tank? He bullied the bully. Lamont bullied the bully. And he done some things because of his style. Him being an orthodox fighter, Tank being a southpaw fighter, like myself, the straight right hand. The straight right hand, straight down the pike, was there all night. There were times when Tank was just standing there. There were times when Tank was backed up, both hands down, juking like he was playing football. In regards to the mess that was going on in the corner, I heard Barry say, listen, at no point in time do I ever want to see you just standing in front of him. He said you should always be circling. You should always be circling. And no matter what kind of mixed signals was going on over in the corner, who was giving this instruction, whatever chaos they had going on, he was still getting good tutelage. Tank was not focused. It is my personal belief. This is my personal belief. Michael Rogers, aka Bodywork, it's my personal belief. This man went in there trying to pull a Canelo Munguia. Well, Canelo actually admitted that he carried Munguia. I believe that he could not turn on that switch the way he normally do, because he had too much respect for Lamont Roach. And what happened was he thought that maybe he was going to be able to flip that switch, and then boom, almost like what he did with it's not quite what he did with Frank, but in a manner of what he did with Frank, where he started putting the pressure on But he really thought that he could carry some rounds so it wouldn't be a short fight. Because he didn't get in there and go to work the way he normally do in the first. Like, yeah, he normally feeling around. He's checking out your mechanics, seeing this and this and that. He already know what was going on with Lamont Roach. He already pretty much know his mechanics and all that. They know each other. So he was trying to buy himself some time. He got caught goofing around, and he was on the clock. 6 rounds went by, and he hadn't established anything like he normally do. He didn't start making Lamont get honest. Yeah, he got in a couple good shots, and yeah, Lamont took those shots. I think he might have hit Lamont. I think he might have cracked Lamont like twice. He did do some good body shots. I don't know if it was Lamont's poker face or whatever, but he cracked Lamont like twice. But it wasn't visible the way, like, you could actually see Tank stagger. You could see Tank buckle twice. And then you got the whole inadvertent knee situation, the shit that he did with that. As a Tank fan, I'm not gonna lie, I was embarrassed. I said, look at what's wrong with my man? My lady was like, what the fuck is wrong with Tank? I said, babe, I don't know. I said, I was like, we sitting there looking at, like, what the fuck are we watching? What the fuck is this? Time was ticking. He started having an active round in the 7th. Then it got to the 8th round. Then it got to the 9th round. That BS happened. And in between him playing around, not being focused, not being active, not establishing his patterns and doing what he normally putting in the work, investing, moving, doing what he needed to do, like breaking his man down. Instead of doing that, he thought he could flip on the switch. Next thing you know, he looking up and he like, oh shit, the fight about to be over. Like, yeah, man, you been playing around. It's like you took off. I ain't never seen no shit like this before. He took off like the first 6 rounds. He got to talking too much, and I hate that. I can't stand when I see boxers doing that, man. I can't stand when I see boxers doing that, man. Like, we'll shake hands, we'll hug, we'll do whatever after the fight, but when from the time they bring us in the middle of the ring and they make us touch gloves until the fight over, I'm not your friend. I'm not. I'm not your friend. I know when I was back in football, when I was playing football practice, we were practicing, but I was nobody. If you was on defense, if I was on offense, or if I was on offense, you was on defense, I'm not your friend. Even in practice. And you damn sure can't do that in boxing. He gave the man dap in the middle of the round, like, man, like, what the hell is going on? So by the time he looked up, I'm like, man, so now he up against it to where I know round by round, you had to be awarding Lamont Roach. He was the more effective guy. He had the better defense. He had the better offense. He was more consistent like the tortoise. While Tank was busy being a hare, showboating and doing all this crazy shit. So by the time he looked up, he was up against it. It probably been around about between the 10th and the 11th. And then I think it was in the 12th when he looked up and he didn't even know what the hell was going on. Like, he was looking like, oh wow, like this fight about to be over. Like, he looked like, oh shit, like I got it. You can't buy, it's too late by then. You haven't established the pattern. And I said all Lamont had to do was start pulling the shakur and start dancing around. It was gonna be a wrap. One, because he's an orthodox guy. The straight right hand was there. He was not getting off the line. He had not established the work. He had not established anything to where Lamont really had to expect it. All he had to do was be patient, keep his guard up, deflect him off the guard, and as soon as he get done, boom, straight right, down the pike. Hook to the body, get out of there. It was embarrassing. You could tell by the reaction. Fighters' faces don't lie. When Tank was in the corner, he did that lean over thing. He didn't even want to turn around. You could see the devastation on Lamont Roach's face. Because Lamont Roach knew that if he would have got awarded that victory, I mean, it still changed the life forever, but it's nothing like taking the shine. It's like when you it's like when you score a motherfucking touchdown and you done did everything you were supposed to do and they call that shit back because they say somebody clipped somebody and they ain't even really clip them, but all that good work you did, you don't get attributed for what you did, even though you broke some ankles, you ran somebody over, ain't had shit to do with nobody getting clipped. That dude might not even been able to tackle you, but you get robbed of your moment. And that's just what it is, man. I don't like to see boxers go through, put all that hard work in, take their craft serious, because you can't play boxing to come up short like that at the hands of judges. I complain about this all the time, even when it's not my guy. I could not even like you, but if the judges do that shit, I don't like that shit. That's a problem in boxing. It happened with Sandor Martin. It happened on the Turkey out of sheet card. So when everybody was complaining about it over there with Turkey and then everybody was saying, oh man, he gonna go over to PBC and get robbed. Like, why would he go over to PBC and get robbed? Hey, they just gave people that hate PBC more than enough ammunition. And Tank, you gave everybody more than enough ammunition, bro. People already wanted to see you fail, bro. You would have thought it was Mardi Gras online today. So I hope, man, if it's a transition, man, I hope it's a clean transition. I hope that you really I hope you either take some time off, go hit that reset button, figure out if this is something you want to do or not. Because all it takes is for somebody, and Lord forbid, if somebody cheats you, somebody have something in their gloves, or if they take that motherfucking snack pack and you come in there playing around like that, it's a wrap. So I didn't like it, man. I think that it was one of those things. Just like when Bodywork dropped Virgil twice, and Virgil still got that decision, it was the business of boxing. When Jermaine Ortiz boxed motherfucking T.O.'s head off. And because Jermaine Ortiz just recently changed his style, he's more entertaining, he's more engaging, he's mixing it up more. Like now, if you see, especially according to his last fight, he's coming forward, he's ripping, he's not losing his legs as much. Like Jermaine Ortiz is looking real dangerous. If that Jermaine Ortiz, that friendly style Jermaine Ortiz would have fought T.O., he probably would have got the decision. But it was the business of boxing. We see this all the time. When Daniel Dubois stopped Usyk with that body shot, and the ref came in and said it was a low blow, and the fight went on, and he wound up, making Dubois quit. That was the business of boxing. So in the sense that all the haters think, did Lamont Roach expose Tank? Not in the sense that the haters are saying. Did he reveal some things about Tank? Did he show some things where you can have some success against Tank? Yes, he did. But what he did was he exposed, once again, something that's bigger than boxing, which is the business, man. That was the business. That was a business, the business of boxing decision right there. The business of boxing warranted that decision. So the only person Lamont Roach truly lost to was the business of boxing. That man he did enough work. He took the craft serious. I don't even know what I don't even know how much they, put in his pockets. But I hope they took care of him. But he did everything he needed to do to get his arm raised. And I have a new rule. After the Errol Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford situation, I said, listen, if you go in the ring with somebody, you choose to get in there, and they do you bad, they make you look ugly, they do whatever. You chose to get in there. I am not making any excuses for anybody who chose to get in the ring. So if your head wasn't there, if your mind wasn't right, you didn't have your thinking cap on, you was playing, you was goofing off, and you fuck around and get knocked out, get dropped, get stopped, get washed. It's no excuse. Lamont did what he was supposed to do. Tank didn't do what he was supposed to do. Will the real Tank Davis please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. I want to let y'all know I'm different over here, man. I'm not like these other cats, man. I'm not going to pussyfoot around with you. I ain't going to sugarcoat nothing with you. I'm going to go by what my eyeballs see. That's why I don't care, even if you're not one of my guys. When people get on there telling lies and painting narratives and just representing Latinos all across the world, and anything they say or do is permissible, and they jack everything, they give them parades for getting washed and shit. Listen, I be speaking to that shit like, come on, bro. You know you lying. Come on, bro. You know you contradicting yourself. Like, come on, bro. I'm not going to be a contradiction. I know what my eyeballs seen. I know what me and my lady sat there and watched. We sat there and watched it. It was, to me as a Tank fan, it was embarrassing, man. And I hate that I got to say it, but somebody got to say it, man. And it is what it is, man. That's the best Crow. I would say I'm starting to get more and more Crow. Devin versus Regis was the best Crow. That probably was the best Crow I've ever been served. Carlos Adames versus Hamza Shiraz, that was the second best play to Crow. The Regis and Devin, that was like Crow that like you got to get at Roof Crisp. Like you got to pay for that. Like that was a rare delicacy. The Crow that Adames gave, that was like the Longhorn. You know what I'm saying? The Longhorn. The Crow that Lamont just gave me, I already knew who Lamont was. He was just going against Tank. So I would say this is like this crow is like you can get this at the Cheesecake Factory with some good calamari. That's the kind of Crow I got served for Lamont. I thought he was going to sleep. So I salute him for giving me Crow. I'll take my Crow. I'll eat my Crow. Hey, that's the motherfucking Crow I need. If you're going to give me Crow, that's the kind of Crow I need in my life. But it's not like I haven't smoked. It's not like I haven't spoke on Lamont and gave him his respect. I was one of the ones saying, man, listen, man, the dude's a champion, man. Have you seen him fight? So that's that. The Gary Antoine. Now I had two different parlays last night. One parlay was for Puello to beat Sandor on decision. The other parlay was for Gary Antoine to stop El Rayo. I really believe Sandor Martin beat Puello, so my according to that, my parlay would have been busted had they got that decision right. And I don't know what Gary Antoine, and salute to Gary Antoine. He finally became a champion. I definitely think he need to run it back with Puello ASAP. You know what I'm saying? Or shoot the fair one with Sandor Martin. That'll be straight. You know what I'm saying? Give Sandor another opportunity. You gave Gary an opportunity after a close loss when they was fighting for that strap. Now give Sandor an opportunity against Gary Antoine now. Since everybody want to cry about this dude getting opportunity. Even though the Latinos don't cry when certain Latinos get opportunity after opportunity, like Cruz, he get opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. All these guys get opportunity. All these got Pedraza opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, paycheck after paycheck. But only when Gary Antoine get another shot, even though he was running around like the boogeyman at 40 for a long ass time. They want to cry because he got another opportunity. And instead of just saying they was nervous for El Rayo, which I like El Rayo. Where El Rayo has a great, I would say it's borderline great resume. For where he's at, his age and all that, El Rayo is going to be fine. El Rayo he's going to be fine. I think he showed a lot of poise. And if you look at it, at the very end of that fight, El Rayo almost pulled some shit off. I don't know if your eyeball seen what my eyeball seen, but El Rayo hit Gary Antoine with an uppercut. Had he been a little bit more poised and worked on his step back game, he probably could have hit Gary Antoine with some shit, and Gary might not, because he was pressuring, he was maintaining everything. He was just punishment, tap, move, tap, body work, move, tap. He answered everything. But right there in that final round, El Rayo almost pulled a motherfucking rabbit out the hat. I don't know if your eyeball saw it, but I did. El Rayo is going to be fine. El Rayo is going to recover. They're going to put him back in there. He's going to get another opportunity, and he's going to be fine. Trust me. He's going to be fine. He's earning the experience of getting in here with these different guys. Cruz, Gary Antoine. Your favorite fighter ain't getting in there with Cruz and Gary Antoine and all these. They can't, whether it's business, whether it's whatever, for whatever reason, your favorite fighter is not getting in there with these guys that he's getting in there. So name somebody that done fought Edwin De Los Santos, Pitbull Cruz, and Gary Antoine. Name them. Then he had a Chris Colbert, redeemed himself with Chris Colbert. So name somebody with those kind of names. El Rayo is going to be fine. He's down there with Robert Garcia. I hope they don't give up on him. There's nothing to give up on. So my two play parlay with Gary Antoine and Puello, it got ran to shit because Gary Antoine, he didn't stop him, even though the doctor started coming out after the 8th round and looking, and then came out again. I'm like, what? Like, I don't know. But salute to Gary Antoine for getting his title. It's well deserved. That's something he always wanted. He's one of them guys that say, listen, he won all of the belts. So now it's getting real interesting at 140 with Puello having a strap, Richardson Hitchens having a strap. So Gary got the WBA, Richardson Hitchens got the IBF. And in any unification, those IBF rules don't apply on a unification. So Richardson Hitchens is going to look even better in the unification because he won't have that 10-pound rehydration. But you know me, I always give respect to the guys, more respect to the guys with the IBF because of that 10-pound rehydration. Because if it was easy, all these fighters would be doing it. It wouldn't be getting in there and then ballooning up 25, 30 pounds after, you know what I'm saying, overnight. No, it's a real, you get extra credit for being in the IBF under that rehydration. One of the other sanctioning bodies, I think it's 15. I think the WBA is coming out with a 15, and somebody is coming out with a 12. So we just need all of them to have something to where it's either it might not be as stringent as the IBF with a 10, so it need to be a 10, a 12, or a 15. I think 12 to 15 is probably good. If you got to rehydrate more than that the day after, then that's not your right weight class. That's how you really get to see who's who. That's how you can really get to see who's who. But it's real interesting with T.O. having a WBO, Puello having a WBC, Richardson Hitchens having the IBF, and Gary Antoine having the WBA. It's a lot of fights to be had at 140. 135 is up in shambles right now because everybody thinking Tank. Even my lady, we were talking about it before we came in the house. And she was saying, yeah, maybe people think Tank gonna be easy work now. I'm like, yeah, maybe it worked for him. Maybe it made him look more vulnerable. So maybe now some people will actually be even more courageous. They won't just talk about it. They actually, pursue him for that bag. Maybe. You know, I'm not sure. But what I do know is they could think that because Lamont was able to pull that shit off. You could think that because Lamont was able to pull that shit off the way he did, that you can do it. But for one, as a southpaw versus southpaw, it ain't gonna work the same. So maybe the people who nuts got a little bit heavier or felt like they got a little bit bigger, maybe Ryan's, maybe Devin's, maybe they're orthodox. Maybe they was like, oh, I could incorporate a little bit of what Lamont did. Okay, I'm bigger. My jab is more straighter, but you know, then you look at chin. They might not have the chin that Lamont got. And then, you know, it's no secret that I said this before, man. Tank is used to fighting them taller guys, man, them bigger, taller guys. I think that's actually easier than them shorter guys. Because when you look at the guys who he went the distance with, shorter guys, closer to his size, and anybody in their life like been fighting, everybody know, like if you really been fighting out there, that's how it is for me. Shorter guys, like it's just something about them guys that can either get up under you, or it's just you used to fighting, like having a bigger target, having something else. I know for me personally, my more challenging fights have been the guys that's been closer to my size, man, not the bigger ones. That's just me. That's been my experience. I don't know, man, but if you can think. So maybe Devin, maybe Ryan might have saw that and be like, oh yeah, man, okay, cool. That's how he did that. Okay, he can do that. Oh, I can incorporate that because my reach is way longer. Maybe I can do that. You don't have the chin and the athleticism, and I don't think that neither one of them is going to try to bully the bully. You know what I'm saying? You got to have the mindset. You got to have that, your right, you got to shoot that right hand straight. You got to be patient. And you got to have a chin. And you got to be willing to get in the fire and do body work. And not expose yourself to the counters. You got to avoid traps. You got to do a lot of shit. A lot of the shit, like people getting all high on Shakur and, oh man, he licking his chops. I don't know what for. With peanut brittle for hands, I don't know. Yeah, you probably can box and move and all that, but like you're not gonna be able to command the respect that Lamont did. So if you a southpaw looking at that, maybe Keyshawn, he might have got more confident. You know what I'm saying? Is he going? Do he fight like Lamont do? Is he as disciplined, or can you entice him into a fight? If you can entice him to a fight, it's still probably gonna be good night. That's just not to take away from him, but it's still probably gonna be good night. You know what I'm saying? He's not down there at the eye level of Tank and all that. So it's different variables. I kind of hope these guys are licking their chops, looking at Tank. I kind of do. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he can get somebody to actually be like, you know what? Fuck that. Send me one right now. Like, look, I'm calling you. Look, what's our number? I'm hitting them up right now. Like, no, right now. Like, I'm calling them right now. Matter of fact, what's your number? Matter of fact, let's talk right now. Let's get with me this weekend. Let's make this happen. And they ain't just talking. It ain't just lip service. Hopefully he looked bad enough. Hopefully he looked more discombobulated enough to where people are now going to be like, oh yeah, let me do it. Yeah, I got that. I can do what he did. I can at least do what Lamont did. Hopefully. We shall see. But again, they will. My message to Tank is they scream your failures and they're gonna whisper your success. Cause I ain't never heard nobody. I haven't heard anybody as loud in his quote unquote failure of not being able to get a dub, getting that blemish on his record. I know Floyd happy. Floyd, man. Floyd might have had a wet dream last night. I ain't bullshit, man. Floyd happy. All your haters, they happy. They out here throwing parades. Man, they painting the city red. It's the best time of their life. The best time of their life. I'm just now getting to these comments. Oh man, let me see. Bodywork sounded good as usual. Salute. Cookies. Cookie. Bodywork. Roach keep himself composed. I honestly was shocked. There's a lot to break down in that fight, but Roach really put himself out there because most fighters would have folded. Yes. Martin Puello was close. Who'd you have in that? Who'd you have in that fight? Cookie. Gary Antoine Russell dominated. Bodywork. Haney celebrated today. Like, yeah, man, it was like they act like Devin won. Like, no, Devin getting ready to fight an old man and Jose Ramirez, man. He going back to I told you, Devin like them Cougars, man. Devin loved them Cougars, man. He loved them Cougars. What's sad is celebrating a draw. Haney fans got no shame. Warlock Boxing, salute. Shakur Bright Light Stevenson is the best of 135 period. Ask Val. You would come over here on some Bama ass shit like that on the day after Tank get a draw all these times. So that means your dumb ass been watching me all this time. Look at him. Shakur. This man don't even come up for air. Shakur. You can say that all you want. I knew his dumb ass be watching, man. Like, but don't ever say nothing until Tank get a draw. Ain't that's some like, man, they don't even make words up for that, man. But this dude be all over on these platforms, especially that dude who be interviewing everybody. He be up there, man, like no gag reflex. I think this man had I think this man had tonsil surgery for Shakur, man. He had tonsil surgery for that, man. Shakur still gotta go he still gotta do what he gotta do to go fight him. Jimmy Morales salutes Bodywork straight out of PR. Jimmy, what's going on? Salute. Matias is back, the real boogeyman. I seen him break his man down. I seen the highlights. I gotta go back and watch the whole thing. And Smoke, salute Pimpin', salute Smoke. Yeah, I gotta go back and watch the whole thing, man. But look, man, I'm not like these other guys, man. Listen, I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing, man. I don't be capping and caping, man. I deal with empirical data. I deal with facts. I do not have lying eyes. I go by what my eyes see, man. Like, yeah, I favor this fighter over that fighter, this fighter over that fighter. I'll pick this guy over that guy. But we all know that on any given night, it can go down. So I just wanted to put it out there, man. I'm not one of these guys that's going to make any kind of excuse for what we saw last night from Tank. I don't have any. I don't know what we saw, and to act like that was really a draw, that's blasphemy, man. That was the business of boxing, man. And salute to Lamont Roach. I hope he go on to do bigger and better things. I hope the business of boxing take care of his pockets. Salute to his father. His father reeled him in and said, listen, don't be getting lured into this trap. Don't do that. He stayed poised. He stuck to his game plan. And a lot of people buckled under that. It's going to be a lot of people trying to fight Lamont Roach now. Watch. There's going to be a lot of people trying to fight Lamont Roach. But that's how it is. They say Tank don't fight nobody. And then right after that, everybody want to fight a guy. They already talking about how Shakur probably gonna get a Lamont Roach fight already. I'm like, but he not pursuing Tank like that. But I thought his hands was hurt. You see how these guys tried. Just last week, his hands was hurt. But this week, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Listen, we had something going on over there at Murderer Row, right? Well, we said, okay, next order of business is to see what happens because we had Keyshawn, he was up the bat, spiked this guy. Shakur, he had Schofield, he pulled out, Padley jumped in, spiked this guy. Tank the only one that shit the bed. And I'm probably one of the biggest Tank fans on the planet. Probably one of the biggest Earl Spence fans on the planet. Probably one of the biggest Jamel Charlo fans on the planet. It just is what it is, man. Lamont won that fight, broski. Yeah. If you catch the playback, if you just now getting in here, yeah. You would hear me say that, man. I said that. Lamont won, man. So I wanted to celebrate. I wanted to celebrate Lamont. I wanted to give him his salutes. I wanted to say that all Tank fans are not the same. Some of us can be brutally honest, even with ourselves, about things that might not be conducive to what we're trying to achieve. Only thing I'm trying to achieve is the motto of the channel is SIC, which is silence is consent, which means that they say that all it takes for evil to prevail is for grown men to remain silent. So I say, if you're not saying nothing, then you agree. I don't agree with the decision. I don't know if anybody gonna openly give a protest and all that, but it could have been a disqualification, or it could have been a straight, you know what I'm saying, unanimous decision based on points. So when you look at the four criteria, because nobody breaking this down, everybody giving their opinion. As far as effective aggression, who had the effective aggression? Who had the effective punching? The more effective punching? Who had the better defense? Who had the ring generalship? If you break it down into those four categories, who was better in all four last night? This is not pre-calculus. It's not geometry. It's not even trigonometry. It just is what it is, man. It's no way you can justify it, man. And if Lamont Roach really wanted to, he probably could go to a board and be like, hey, man, you need to review what happened in there just so we can get this down on record and get an explanation. Get an explanation, even though I don't think he's going to do it because they homies, you know what I'm saying, they friends, and I don't think he's going to push the envelope because Tank did give him an opportunity. So I don't know, man. But all that friendly shit, like if you're going to, like, listen, I was all against you fighting your friends, right? I'm all against you fight. I was all for you fighting your friends. Like that bond that Keyshawn and Shakur got that can never be broken. I was never for that. I was never for them to have an excuse not to fight. When it came down to Jamel Charlo and Spence, I was like, yeah, it's a conflict of interest because Derrick James was training them both at that time. So I was like, man, it sounds dumb. But they even was campaigning for the two Charlos to fight each other at one point. So I was never really for it. But if you're gonna choose somebody that you actually cool with and you have that much respect for that you can't bring yourself to pull the trigger, don't fight them. So maybe my views on Shakur and Keyshawn fighting, maybe they change. Because if we're gonna see some shit like that, to where you're not gonna pull the trigger because that's your homie. But he going to work. He putting in that work. He ain't playing with you. He feeding you straight rights all night. I don't want to see it. As far as the rematch, hell yeah, he need to run it back. I mean, if he's saying not right away, okay, I understand. You're gonna go do something else, or you gonna take some time off, and then you're gonna come back, okay. But yes, it needs to be a rematch. Yes, I don't feel the same way as with the Cruz, the Pitbull Cruz. Like everybody say, oh man, that's a run back. I'm like, I didn't feel that way because I always thought Cruz. I was never that high on Cruz anyway. This right here, what we saw, that's a run back. That's a run back. So maybe now because he was popping you up, he buckled you, he buckled you twice, he staggered you, and then that dumb knee shit. That's 4 acts of adversity right there. This is adversity university. Hopefully Tank learn from it. But maybe after he go look at that film and look at what Lamont was doing, maybe he could hit that inner switch that he normally hit to where it's like that aggression come out. But if he 1 foot in and 1 foot out, ooh. I'm not sure how that's gonna go, man. You can't play boxing, man. And he say Matias' fight was good too. Bodyworks. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch that. Go Junkie. I'm a Tank fan for sure, but I did not like what I saw. Yeah, man, that's what I was saying. I ain't like what I saw. See, you got some Tank fans that's gonna keep it 100. We not gonna glaze and do all that. You don't got to do that. So when I be keeping it a buck about certain things, people be thinking I be hating or whatever. They're gonna be like, "Oh man, look at him, he flipped." I ain't flip on Tank. I'm just saying, that was not appealing to me. I don't ever want to see no shit like that again. And if you feel like that, where you can't pull the trigger or your head ain't in the game or whatever, do not get in there. Do not get in there and play around. Because now, you know, they say, let's give the people something to talk about. Well, you gave them a whole lot to talk about. They're going to be barbecuing Tank, smoking on Tank Pack for the next month. For the next month. When they were crying, when whatever happened, when Ryan cracked Devin and did what he did to Devin, they was crying for a month. They're going to be celebrating for a month. The Tank was able to get a blemish, a draw on his record. So you gave him something to talk about, Tank. And if you hear me, man, I got nothing but love for you, man. But, man, please, man, decide if this is what you want to do. And if it's not what you want to do, man, don't play around with it, man. Put it down for a little while and come back if it's like that, homie. I'm still rocking with Tank. I'm still a fan. You know, I'm still going to hold him down. I'm still going to fight off a lot of these narratives and all that. But, like, this shit right here, man, it's about to get ugly for a lot of people, man, that's going to be talking boxing. Because if you thought they was hating before, what they going to be doing now? I don't know, man, but salute to Go-Go Junkie, L30 Cruz, Jimmy Morales, Axe Val. Salute to Val for supporting Shakur Stevenson. Salute to Warlock Boxing. Salute to Cookie Monster and Koki. Thank all of y'all for actually coming in, man, and chiming in, man. Don't be a stranger to the channel. This is not gonna stop anything over here at Bodywork Boxing. I'm getting ready to go back into my whole deal with the 140-pound division. And start breaking that down this week. And you know, just going over like the state of boxing now and some things that I've been seeing here lately and some stuff I've been working on, some ideas I've been developing. And we're gonna see how it works out. But if you haven't, please hit the like button. If you're catching this on the playback, talk to me. I'll talk back. And Aaron Jones, man, I gotta hear from you, man. So if you hear this, comment in the comment section, man. You gotta let me know, man, because I know you're gonna keep it all the way funky, man. I know, Aaron Jones, I know you ain't gonna let me down about what you saw about this fight, man. You know we diehard Tank fans, but I know you ain't gonna let me down on this one, man. I gotta know, man. You always break down what's going on with Tank and how, and you know, these different markets and all that. Well, what did you take away from this? What was your biggest takeaway? I would love to know. But salute to everybody, man. I appreciate everybody, man. Even if you stopped in and dropped in. Oh, BC, salute. Salute, BC. Bodywork. Yeah, I'm wrapping it up, BC. I normally only do an hour, man, but I just had to wrap it up, man, on what I saw in this Tank thing, man. I had to keep it all the way funky on this and tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? I can't glaze. I can't, you know, I'm not going to put on no throat coat, no knee pads, no tonsil jewelry, no none of that. I'm not moving no goalposts. I'm not doing none of that for this fight. It is what it is, man. But salute. Hit the like button if you haven't. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. You know, this is Fruits and Veggies, not that Reggie. This is fact-based content, not opinion-based. And you always get something on my lives, and hopefully you like the visuals in my my short videos that I do. Been trying to make them shorter so that when you watch them, they don't take up much of your time, but they're packed with nutritional value. So I appreciate everybody, man. But I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday, man. I got to get up at old dark 30, work out, and then get to work. You feel me? But thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.